Is the Pixel 6a overpriced at $449? At $449, it sounds like a really good deal, but the reality of the whole situation is that the Pixel 6 is a better phone in a lot of ways and is $599. So $599, you're really kind of challenging that price point with a phone that's not quite on the same level. It is in a lot of ways. Yes, it has a little bit smaller screen with the Pixel 6a, still has the Tensor chip, it has a little bit less RAM, it just not 100% there. It doesn't have the newer camera, but here's the conundrum. It's not so much that the Pixel 6 is $599 and the Pixel 6a is $449. You can find deals on the Pixel 6. So that's where it's going to be a hard decision for some people. I was looking just yesterday, and with activation, you could get the Pixel 6 at Best Buy for $449, which is the same price. So if it comes down to Pixel 6 or Pixel 6a at $450, definitely I would say buy the Pixel 6 because it's going to be better, arguably, in most areas. So that doesn't mean the Pixel 6a is bad. That doesn't mean the Pixel 6a is a phone you shouldn't buy. But when you can get the phone for the same price in a couple different places, it makes you kind of wonder what Google was thinking. Now, I get they're really trying to unify the platform. It makes more sense for them to use one chip across all the phones instead of trying to support different chips or having different price points. Economy of scale. The more phones they put this chip in, the Tensor chip, the cheaper it is. Kind of like how, you don't necessarily need an M1 chip for an iPad Air, but whenever Apple is basically putting an M1 chip in every product it has, then you can get it a lot cheaper, and it's more impressive to walk up and say, okay, this is $449 and it has X chip in it as opposed to a more lower tier chipset. So I get that. I appreciate it. I like that we can get this flagship kind of experience with a $449 price point. Yeah, it has 60 hertz refresh rate instead of a 90, but a lot of people still don't care about that or might not be in the know when it comes to a higher refresh rate on their phone. So I don't think there's too many incredible compromises on the Pixel 6a. Far from it. I think it's a good phone for that price point. The problem is, though, the Pixel 6 is $599 and you can get it a lot of places for $449 already. That is the problem. So in the US, that might not be the greatest thing. But here's the other thing a lot of people may not necessarily be looking at is the international availability and the fact that this phone is going to launch in India and is going to be the first phone that Google has launched there in several years. So that over there, when you can't get the Pixel 6, a Pixel 6a at $449 equivalent actually looks like a pretty good phone for most people to buy because looking at a US phone, it's Google, it's got all this different support, 3 years of operating system updates, 5 years of security patches. That's a pretty good deal combined with the Tensor chip, combined with the previous generation of Pixel cameras, which is already renowned everywhere and already got great accolades for the Pixel 4 or the 5 series. So I don't see it as a downside having that camera because it's going to have better computational photography options with the Tensor chip as opposed to the Snapdragon 765 that we had in the Pixel 5 and the 5a series. So I think there's a lot to like here. I think it's going to be a fantastic phone, but depending on the market, it definitely challenges the buyer to make a decision on whether they should get the Pixel 6, pay just a little bit more. It's not like it's priced outside of realistic possibility because a lot of people are going to get this from a carrier that's going to have incentives anyway. So it might be, here, get the Pixel 6a for free maybe, and then get the Pixel 6, you might pay $5 a month. And that's not a difficult decision for some people to make. Some people just want a free phone. Totally here for it. My mom just went the other day and wanted to get the iPhone 13 mini because it was free. So going from a 12 to a mini because it's free, that might be a compromise somebody is willing to make. And the 13 mini, I think, is a very good phone. So it may not come down to the dollar. It may come to market, may come to availability. I think the Pixel 6a is going to be a very good phone. But depending on kind of where you're at and what you're looking for, it might not be the best option for you. And $449 might not be the best price. Maybe they should have taken a little bit on the nose here, maybe lowered some of their overhead and sold it for $399. At $399, the Pixel 6a would have been a fantastic phone. And it will be there eventually. You're going to find sales, you're going to find deals. By the time the holidays roll around, you'll probably be able to get it for $350, $399. There's some wiggle room there that they're going to use for marketing. And who knows what the sales are going to be as soon as it comes out. The carrier deals are probably going to be pretty good, especially if Google is still throwing money at it like they did with the Pixel 6 series, which is billboards, advertisements, product placement galore, which they haven't done before. So the Pixel 6 already sold better than the 4 and the 5 combined, and it's not even been out for a year yet. But when you have a phone that's been out for about 8 months, 9 months before the new one comes out, you're going to have some price drops. You're going to have some incentives already where people are trying to move it off the shelves because the 7 is going to be out not too long after the 6A. The Pixel 6A is coming out at the end of July, which is pretty late in the summer. So when you look at things, the Pixel 7 is probably going to be out around October. So end of July, so we've got August, September, October. 3 months removed, we're going to have the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, very likely. So to look at that, to look at the Pixel 6 being so far into its generational cycle already, carriers trying to get rid of it, marketing, deals, I think that it might not necessarily move as many units as they think initially, and also it's going to be available later in India, not going to launch at the exact same time as here in the US. So we'll see what happens with it. I think the 6A is going to be a great phone. I think it's going to be great at the price point competitively. When you look at other phones, you just kind of have to sit there and go, could they not find a way to maybe make this $399? Like that $50 goes a long way, and I think $399 would have been phenomenal. $449 I think is good, but when you're trying to sell that and also the 6 at the same time at $599, it makes it kind of difficult, and it's a very, very close price point. Like usually you get $200 with a lot of phone brackets. $150 is very, very close. So I don't know. What do you think on this one? Do you think the 6A should be priced at $399, or do you think that it makes it a difficult decision when you see these different options that people have for, let's say, the Pixel 6 and being able to get it on sale, being able to get it for the same price? Is there enough distinction there that somebody might still want to choose the 6A over the 6? We'll just have to see, because even on the screen size, 6.1 inch versus 6.3, not a big difference there when historically the Pixels were a lot smaller with some of their phones. So we'll see what happens. But that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to go down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.